fight, it always became a reality that it wasn't going to happen once, you know, it got into negotiations, things like that. But I think the time that I really thought it was going to really happen, which would have been at that particular time, the climax of our whole saga of 17 years, is when Roy Jones warned Don King, quote, "Don't let Trinidad fight Bernard Hopkins." Roy understood that A, I can beat that tournament and win the fight. Second, to put pressure on the fight even sooner. Well, his worst nightmares came. Don didn't listen to him. I beat Trinidad. Roy moved up to 75 and became the light heavyweight undisputed champion. Of course, before the Tarver fight. And that was, to me, like, where can he go now? Like I got him trapped now. Like, the media is going to go crazy if Roy Jones try to say that he beat me before, which he's always laid his hat on, which he's right about, but that was then. And my argument is that he used, A, he has a victory over me, which is true. B, he always claimed to be the biggest star and the biggest name. And the most, but not least, the biggest thing he had that I never had, even to today. I've been a part of it. I've been on dates with this corporation and this industry, but never been actually that I felt one of their guys under exclusive contract, and that's HBO. He had power behind him. He had a luxury that, to me, it didn't lose marketability on a point of why we're fighting. I think a lot of it has to do with when people eventually who happen to see the fight, which a lot of people in the States didn't, whether that's good or bad. I think it has a lot to do with how the fight ended and what happened in the fight. When I heard Waking Up, December 2nd, when I was fighting Ornelas, when you hear somebody, Roy got knocked out in the first round, you're thinking, okay, he got knocked out and didn't get up, he was stretched out, sort of like before, but I looked at the tape, seen the tape, and I said, wait a minute. They stopped the fight on this, based on this? I said, even the benefit of doubt, to give a guy of that legacy an opportunity to fight out the last minute and 30 seconds, not getting hit with any solid shots after that. I think other than with the hand wraps, allegedly complaints and petitions put in about complaints that they made prior to the fight, it was either fight or fights off. I think they chose to fight, so it was their call. I think with the history of fighter goes in the ring and knows what people are saying, that he don't give a threat or a chance, that guy is motivated by that, especially a Roy Jones Jr. We're not talking about a Joe Smuck. We're talking about a Roy Jones Jr. who we all know has pride bigger than New York. You must be prepared and aware that if I don't come mentally and physically correct, then I become a headlines on somebody's paper or website. And that's what I'm going to avoid. Getting to that mindset like he's going to lay down for me. No, Roy Jones rather lose to you, no disrespect, than lose to Bernard Hopkins. Hey, it's been 17 years. This signifies everything that I've been saying in 17 years for Roy Jones not to put up the last battle of a war. I'm in control because I want to make sure that Roy remembers this beating as just as long as I've been waiting 17 years. So, but I have 12 rounds and 40 plus minutes to make his nightmare come true and to let the world know why this guy 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago delayed this execution by doing anything that's possible to not face the executioner years ago, and now he's been trapped, cornered. All the retrieves have been denied. The governor has spoken. He will have his last meal. We're going back to old school execution.
Oh, are you thinking payback? Are you thinking I'm going to get you for all these years waiting when you're in that ring? Like, are you thinking any different than any other fight because you've been waiting so long for this?
If a guy took your watch and you was younger and he was older, and now he became older and you became bigger, stronger, smarter, then you be the guy now to remind him about 10 years ago or 17 years ago. See, Roy took my watch in '93. It was called the IBF watch. And even though time went by, I happened to see this guy somewhere on the sub in North Philadelphia. And I remember the guy took my watch and he looked familiar. And then I mugged him. And so April 3rd, that's what's going to happen. So you can call it payback. You can call it redemption. You can call it settling an old score. Whatever you want to call it is definitely going to be sweet. Revenge to me is always sweet, no matter if it's in the ring or out of the ring. Every human being, even in this gym, has a history. I don't know how far it is, they know that they would love to get revenge on at least one person in a lifetime. Everybody has an experience. It don't have to be a bad thing. They can just, I want to get you. You could have beat me at a card game or whatever. You could have beat me somewhere where it is serious. But everybody have that 1 or 2% of itch of, I gotta get this guy back. It's just human nature to be able to get somebody back. To most people. But April 3rd at the Mandalay Bay, I will execute Roy Jones Jr. to not be able to box ever again. By his choice. By his choice, he won't go in.